Good evening, everybody. It's Phoenix once again. Jeez, that was loud. Uh, so I've been thinking. There's a lot of stuff going on in this game, and after going up to the player who used Master Endymion, which is the card I think that has the most words on it, I had an idea in my head that maybe people play more complicatedly worded cards so that their opponent would take longer to read them to run down the timer. When the timer gets lower, they would make snap judgment wrong decisions to mess up their own plays. So, in order to prevent this from ever happening to me, I had the idea of just doing a lot of spectating, which is also an excuse to commentate and make a video without me actually having to put in effort. So, that's what this is going to be. And now, we're just going to watch, and I'm going to see how much I can keep up with. Let's go. Also, it'll be fun to see other people's decks. Don't take that out of context. Alright. This might be a match from the... Yeah, this is probably from the event. Oh, let's pause this real quick. See what he did. Discarded Junk Converter to add a tuner and to add one tuner Synchron from his deck to his hand. And Turbo Monster. So he discarded Stardust Synchron, probably to add Synchron Carrier, and the tuner Junk Synchron. Alright. Junk Synchron, when it was summoned, resurrected a low level monster, which was the one he discarded, for its own effect. Summons out Junk Speeder. Special as many Synchron tuners as possible. Junk Converter had an effect activated. Speeder's effect is negated by Effect Veiler, so he will not get Junk Synchron back. Junk Converter still activates. Right? If this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchron material, target one tuner in your group. So he had two sources to bring back Junk Synchron. And he turned that all into Baron de Fleur. Using Ash Blossom to negate Stardust's drawing effect. Junk Converter for the same move his opponent did. Discarding Starlust to bring back Jet Synchron. Using Baron to negate. Junk Synchron. That's into the grave. Sends that to the grave to special summon Stardust Synchron. Draws a Riven Light. Puts his card on top of his hand, but he doesn't have anything to keep going. So looks like Duelist B is in control. Using Baron's effect to destroy one card per turn. Going right for the beatdown. Probably just going to be a slow descent into death now. You can play Majestic in defense, but he'll probably just get popped by Baron's effect, and he might be hoping he'll be able to draw something to get a Majestic Star Dragon later. Summons Doppel Warrior, sends it to the grave to bring back his other Stardust. Revealing Stardust Trail in his hand. Special summoning it. Stardust Synchron's effect adds card dimension Stardust in its hand, from his deck to his hand. Place his own Riven Light. Puts a card on top of his deck. Use a Baron's effect to destroy enemies' Riven Light, just because. Special summons into Stardust. Stardust Trail's effect activates. Special from your hand or graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. No, it's if a monster you control is tributed. If a warrior synchro or Stardust synchro monster synchro is summoned, using this guy's material, you can special summon a Stardust token. Alright, so that gets him a level 1. Arrive in Light lets him add a card to his hand, which is the Converging Winds Dragon. Converging Winds Dragon, when drawn, you can reveal it and special summon it. Then if you control a level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro, you can special summon one level 1 Dragon Monster from your deck. So he did that, so he has a level 11 on the board, which he will turn into Shooting Majestic Star. This game is super over. Duelist B had a really strong opener. Good plays, Duelist B, who is currently gold 5 versus a gold 4. Pretty even level of play. Let's see what's going on in the next match. Maybe we'll get one that's not going on with the Synchro Festival. Who can say, though? Alright. Judging by this player's hand, I have no idea what they're playing. Wave Motion Cannon, start building up damage. Gravity Bind, so higher level monsters can't attack. Scrap Iron Scarecrow to block an attack, probably from a low level monster, or a monster without level. Activates Gravity Bind anyway. No monsters on board from either player. Just Desert, so this is probably, he's playing a burn deck, using really old cards. And his enemy might be his enemy is playing Trickstar. So these are two burn decks going up against each other. Alright, let's see if we can keep up with what's going on here. Trickstar Candy and a normal summon to add Trickstar to his hand. Each time your opponent activates a spell or trap, inflict 200 damage to them. So every time player A activates a spell or trap, he'll take 200 damage, which will proc Dark Room of Nightmare, both of them. So every time he takes 200, he's actually taking 800. With Trickstar Light Stage, he picked the opponent's face down spell or trap card, which he has to activate this turn, otherwise it is destroyed in the end phase. Each time a Trickstar monster inflicts battle or effect damage, inflict 200 to them. So if I'm doing the math on this right, every time player A activates a spell or trap, Trickstar Candina will deal 200 damage, which will turn that 200 into 800 damage for each Dark Room of Nightmare. This will proc an extra 200 from Trickstar Light Stage activating due to the Trickstar damage effect, which will in turn do another 800. So every time that player A activates a spell or trap card right now, he will take 1600 points of damage. Trickstar Lycoris's effect, reveal in his hand target Trickstar monster you control, special summon this card, and return the monster to the hand. Each time a card is added to your opponent's hand, inflict 200 damage to them. Activating this along with Chain Summoning, you can conduct 3 normal summons just this turn. If multiple cards with the same name or effect, such as this card's already activated in that chain. You can activate this card if multiple cards with the same name. So he has both Trickstars on the field, using Trickstar Candina's effect to add another Lycoris to his hand. Using Lycoris's effect again to bounce it back to his hand, plays it again, draws another card, drawing this time Trickstar Festival. Activates Trickstar Festival, summon 2 Trickstar tokens. If a Trickstar monster you control with special summon from the extra deck would be destroyed by battle or card effect, banish this card from your graveyard instead. You cannot normal special monsters the turn you activate this card except Trickstar. You can only activate 1 festival per turn. Using 1 token to go into the link 1. Trickstar Bloom. Make your opponent draw 1 card. So, he is forced to draw 1, which will activate 1 Lycoris, which will do 200, which activates Light Stage to make it 400, and each Dark Room makes it for 1,000. And that'll happen with the other Lycoris as well, which means he should take 2,000 damage from just making him draw that 1 card. Unless it's even more than that. What the hell is about to happen to this man? One, 2, 3, 4. God, I grossly miscounted all of that. They turn that into another bloom. Was there a source of damage that I missed? What's his rebel? No, I don't know where that came from. So is he about to take another 3,200 damage just from drawing a card? At this point, Duelist B can just end his turn and win, I think. Well, Trickstars are horrifying. This auto-resolving 8 chain plays. Starting the end of Trickstar Crimson Heart. What do? Each time a Trickstar monster is normal or special summoned to a zone this card points to, gain 200 life points. You can discard a Trickstar card. Both players draw 1 card. But if your life point was at least 2,000 higher than your opponent's, when this effect was activated, you draw 2 instead. And you've definitely got that. Discard a card, both players draw, and that's going to make game. Not exactly the quickest, because waiting for animations to resolve, but horrifying to watch. This man slowly dying. But it was burn deck against burn deck, so what can you really expect? That's the way the news goes. Let's see who these players were. So we had a gold 4 versus gold 4. Even match. Horrifying to watch. Makes me want to play a Trickstar. Makes me horrified to play against Trickstar. Let's go into a third match. So we have some type of Shadal deck. Probably Shadal Invoked, if I were to guess. Fusing off the effect veiler into Construct. So let's try and figure out what just happened. Flip. Target one Shadal. Nope. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, target up to 3 cards in your graveyard, banish them. Nope, that doesn't track. See, Shadal Fusion. For your extra deck, use a monster from your hand or field. Nope. Well, I've lost track of the plot. So he sent, using Shadal Construct, to send Wendy to the graveyard. Sent to the graveyard, so they special summoned Beast face down. Alright, that's how that happened. Lightning Storm activates. Shadal Schism. Using Shadal Schism to create another fusion. For Shadal Winda. In defense mode. How did you live? Was something on Schism we missed? No, he didn't miss that. He just used Lightning Storm to get rid of his back row. And he is going into Numeron. And is able to hit over Winda's pitiful defense. Winda sent to the grave. If this card is sent to the grave, target one Shadal spell trap in your graveyard, add it to your hand. And you chain that to Numeron Gate 4. If this card is natural material, all monsters. Double the attack of all Numeron monsters you currently control. So is he just going to keep doubling and attacking? Turning Numeron Gate into Numeron Chaos Gate. Sending them all away. Activating Magical Meltdown, adding Alistair, so this is Shadal Invoked. Playing Alistar, adding Invocation to his hand. Playing Invocation. Using Alistar with one of the gates. For Mechaba. Another Shadal Schism face down. Banishing Alistar. Now, returning Invoked to deck. And just swing Mechaba. Numeron Gate Sunya attempts to activate. This card is summoned. Banish all monsters on the field. Once returned during summon phase. If this card was banished, special summon this banished card that if Numeron Network is on the field, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined attack of all banished Xyz monsters. The combined attack of all of them after that would be 4,000. Using Mechaba to... Once per turn, when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, send the same type from your hand to the graveyard to negate the activation. So we pitched the Alistar to negate the gate's effect of summoning itself and doing damage. Can Gate trigger again? During summon phase after this card was banished. But he summoned all the gates again, so he might just be... No, he might just be beating him to death. Shadal Schism does nothing. He has no materials to make a fusion with. Gate beats the man to death. I gotta figure out what Shadal cards do more. Alright, we have a Blue Eyes deck. What are they going up against? Opponent goes first. Upstart Goblin. Duality. This could be a Grand Maju deck. Judging that purely based off Banquet. Alright, what do you got there? Lady of Lament. It's no summon again, 1000 attack. Quick effect. Tribute 1 dark monster, reveal 3 normal traps in your deck. Your opponent chooses 1 to set, and you shuffle the rest back into your deck. And Veiler attempting to negate that before it activates its effect, he responds by activating it and revealing his trap cards, which are all 3 copies of Dynamite. So Veiler was a little wasted there. What do you guys do? Perform a Pal Popper-Up. Send 3 cards from your hand to the graveyard, which was the rest of his hand, and draw that many cards. Then you can special summon up to that many monsters from your hand with different names that are Performapals. If you do not special summon, you lose 1,000 life points for each card in your hand. And he just set them all, so it doesn't really matter. Using Banquet to banish everything in the extra deck, activating Dynamite, activating Trap Trick to probably set another Dynamite. Yep. Doing 45 and 45, and it's over. Player did not even get a turn. Those banished decks are a little rough. Cool though. Glad to see older cards are able to get synergy with each other. Something like DD Dynamite's useful now. Looks like this could be from the Synchro event. I think Duelist A is using the Loner deck. Or he's actually playing a Noble Knight deck. Which, more power to you, I guess. Going up against Machina Trains. So let's try and figure out what just happened there, because I'm not used to Machina or Trains. Normal summon, add 1 Machina monster from your deck to your hand, except Gear Frame, which he used. Let's take it all the way back, everyone draws. Summons Gear Frame. Uses Gear Frame's effect to add Fortress to his hand. But in response to him summoning Gear Frame, Heavy Freight Trains effect activated because an Earth Machine monster was normal summoned, so it allowed him to special summon this from his hand, but stats were halved. And he set an unknown face down. So he summoned Gear Frame. That triggered Gear Frame's effect to add a card to his hand. In response to Gear Frame, he was able to summon his train. Alright, we're with it. Activating Rhoda, adding a Noble Knight to his hand, activating its effect, pitching it, adding Steed of Floor to his hand, Floral Knight, sending Spore, summoning Noble Knight Spearholder, activating Machina Overdrive. Target 1 machine monster you control, special Machina with a different name from your hand or deck, but destroy the target monster. You're going to banish this card from the graveyard and target 3 your machine monsters that are banished or in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, draw 1 card. So who did he get rid of? He got rid of the train, probably because of its weaker stats, and he has Citadel on board now. Synchroning off his knight and his horse into Chevalier de Fleur. Activating Citadel's effect, quick effect, target one machine you control, destroy the machine, and all monsters your opponent control attack less or equal to it. So immediately popping Citadel to destroy his enemy's synchro play, and Jesus, hiccups, cutting him off before he can really get a turn off. Feather Duster to get rid of the back row, even though it wasn't really much of a threat, because the opponent had nothing on board to equip it to, and just slapping the gear frame. Synchro Dilemma. Summoning Spear Holder. Activating the effect of Synchro Dilemma to send it. Special summon. Knight Dristrin. Another Machina Citadel. Let's take that back, because I lost track of the plot in that turn. Alright, so he sent Noble Knight Spear Holder to special summon Dristrin. I don't know why, because he could have just summoned Dristrin. Dryston and Gearframe crash into each other. Machina Gearframe's effect activated. I think. A face-up Earth machine you control except Citadel is destroyed by battle card effect while it is in your graveyard. Special summon it. So Citadel can keep bringing itself back if one of his dudes dies. Just immediately going in for the punch. This match is favoring heavily on the side of Machina. Playing Hopier Squadron in attack mode, probably just accepting his death. Slowly accepting his death. Duelist B just has to swing and he wins. And there it is. Not the most exciting match to watch. Kind of just watching one player slowly beat the other to death, while I attempt to keep track of what's going on. That's the most embarrassing part. Alright, what do we have this time? Infernity! I haven't seen you guys in forever. Infernity versus Zombies. Shiranui, precise. So let's try and track this out. Summon Shiranui Squire. Once normal summon, you can special summon another Shiranui Swordmaster from your hand or deck, which he brings out Shiranui Spectral Sword, which is the tuner, tunes them off into Tengu the Winged Mask. Does it have any effects? Nope, because there was nothing for it to target. Sets 2 back row, ends turn. Activates Allure of Darkness, draws 2, pitches Infernity Archfiend, activates Twin Twisters, pitches again to destroy back row, Foolish Burial, sends something to the grave, sets 2 face down, Stygian Street Patrol's effect activates. Banish from your graveyard, special summon one fiend with 2,000 or less attack from your hand, which would be Infernity Archfiend. When this card is special summoned, add one Infernity card from deck to hand. If you have no, you must have no cards in your hand to resolve this effect. So he sent Stygian Street Patrol to special summon it to activate its effect, which adds an Infernity Beetle. Normal summon Beetle, Tribute Beetle, activate its effect. Summon 2 more Beetles. Tunes one of them and Archfiend off into Infernity Doom Archfiend. Once per turn, target one face-up card in the field, negate its effects until the end of the turn. Then if you have no cards in hand, you can destroy it. While you have no cards in your hand, if this battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage this card inflicts your opponent is doubled. A Dark Synchro monster that was summoned using this card's material can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. He destroys Zombie World and then tunes Archfiend and his other beetle off into Infernity Doom Dragon. Activating the Infernity Doom Archfiend's effect activates, so this can make 2 extra attacks on monsters per battle phase. He has no cards in hand, so he can target and destroy the Tengu and inflict damage equal half its attack for 1,300, but he can't attack this turn. He has Twin Twisters in his back row, which he can't activate, and he has Infernity Barrier to stop opponents' spell-trapped monsters, which he does right now, stopping Unizombie, which I'm really glad to see, because I fucking hate Unizombie. Back to Duelist A's turn. Sets Infernity Sage, and is just going to start beating down. Tuning off Infernity Sage and Doom Dragon. Into Baron de Fleur. Infernity Sage effect, once sent to the graveyard, you can send an Infernity monster from deck to grave. Opponent attempts to activate the effect of Shiranui Spirit Master, which is going to be negated by Baron de Fleur. Spirit Master goes to grave. Draws Infernity Suppression, activates Baron de Fleur's effect, sends it back to the deck to summon Infernity Necromancer. Using Necromancer to bring back Archfiend. Using Archfiend to draw Infernity Launcher. Activate Launcher. Banish Infernity Paranoia. Banish this card and target one Infernity monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So he adds Infernity Sage back to hand. Plays Infernity Sage, tunes it with Archfiend. Probably for another Doom Archfiend. Infernity Sage effect activates, sends another card to grave. Sends Infernity Launcher to grave. You can send this card to grave, target 2 Infernity monster graveyard, special summon them. So he's bringing back Doom Dragon and his Archfiend again. Archfiend effects procs again, just for funsies. Draws another barrier, just goes for the beatdown. Nice to see more rogue decks in play, but I think Infernity had this one from the start. Let's see what happens in this one. True Draco, the anti-fun deck. Versus, at best guess, Deskbot. Plays a card, tributes it to summon Dynamite. Activates Max C. Dynamite's effect activates. To add a True Draco or True King, trapped at hand. And he just starts punching. Surprised he didn't set Skill Drain. But he did set Summon Limit. Summons Jet Synchron, activates Summon Limit, goes in battle phase. Duelist A is just trying to end this as fast as possible. He knows where this is going. You know, for them doing something for this event, like preventing Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis from being in decks, I'm surprised they let stuff like Summon Limit get through. I know there are a lot of cards in the game, and Dogmatica is new, so it has more attention. But allowing a card like Summon Limit to be played during the festival matches just seems like an oversight. Not quite sure what Duelist B is using. Summons Inspector Border. Versus Magician Girl. Swings into Magician Girl. Magician Girl's effect not activating? Activating Dark Magic Circle and setting one face down. Duelist A just playing like a super budget Magician Girl deck. Actually set Ash Blossom. And now Duelist B set Max C. Yeah, he doesn't need two, but this seems weird. Activating Forbidden Dress to prevent Inspector Border from being destroyed by Raigeki. Summoning Lemon Magician Girl. So he does have another Magician Girl now. He has another Gizmak Orochi. Setting another dress in case the same thing happens. Not activating Lemon Magician Girl's effect. Is it just the worst hand he could have drawn where he just had one Magician Girl in it? Lightning Storm can't play because he has stuff on board. There's Lemon Magician Girl. I have to assume Duelist A was just bricking on his opener and only had one Magician Girl in hand. Just keep swinging with Inspector Border. Surprised he hasn't tried to summon Orochi just to speed this up. Activate Secrets of Dark Magic, immediately countered by Solemn Warning. Duelist A is having a rough one. He's going to go for the Orochi quick finish. He's going to drag this out. Paw Desires. Yep. That's a big ol' eater. And it's over. That was kind of just... Duelist B was winning from the start and took a while. Not really a learning experience. Yosenju versus does nothing past turn. Both players pass turn? Summon Yosenju, comma 1. To summon, comma 2. Which summons, comma 1. Which summons, comma 3. Swings, deals damage, comma 3 lets him draw a card. Comma 1 swings, comma 3 swings, comma 2 swings. Main phase 2, set 1 face down. All your Yosenjus bounce back to hand. Pass turn. Wow. Duelist A is just on autopilot, I guess. Does more Yosenju comma spam. And just ends it. We learned nothing this game. Looks like we got another Grenmaju Banish deck. Activates Paw Duality. Wow. What choices. Activates Mallet. Activates Card Demise. Activates Into the Void. Have 3 more in hand, draw 1. During the end phase of the turn, discard your entire hand. He's not going to have a hand by the end of it. Activates Upstart. Plays Lady Lilith. Activates her effect. He has Banquet down, so I think this match is already over, actually. Yeah, both are playing 15. They both banish their entire extra decks. Activate both DD Dynamites for the full 9,000. And it's over. I wasn't too sure about that guy's opening hand, but he managed to pull it off with redraws. And Lilith. But, not a learning experience. And a deck we've already seen tonight. But you'd think with the thousands of cards in existence, you'd see more variety. Alright, we have Blue Eyes deck versus Unknown. Speak of the devil from earlier, Master Endymion should be in this. So let's review what just happened there. Pendulum effect. You have a card in your other zone, destroy this card, and add one level 7 or lower mystical beast effect monster, which he does, and uses it to add Beast Jackal. Give him a Pendulum. In other zone, destroy this card if you do special summon one mystical beast pendulum monster from your extra deck. So he played Cerberus, popped itself to play Jackal, to pop itself, to play to the board Master Cerberus. Now he's setting the actual Magister of Endymion, activating Upstart, gets a spell counter. Normal summons Mystical Beast Garuda. Pendulums them, or links them off into heavy metal foes Electromite. Using Electromite's effect to add them back to his hand. Summoning Astrograph Sorcerer. Because cards of his were destroyed by card effect. Does not have to be opponent's card effect. Sets the Pendulum Scale again. Linking off again into a link 3. Selene Queen Magister Magistus. Now going into the Pendulum Summon to use from his extra deck because he has link zones pointing out. So I can get more out of it. Summoning 4. Putting a lot of spell counters on board. I really lost track of the plot during that one, but he sure did a lot, didn't he? And there he is, Endymion. Well, judging by Duelist A's hand, I don't think he has a way to out this. Adding 2 blue eyes to his hand. More spells are being activated, some more spell counters are being put on board. Activates Trade In, draws 2 more. Activates into the Melody of Awakening, pitch 1 to add Chaos Dragon and another alternate dragon. Whole lot of spell counters on board, activating Ritual Art so we can get out the Chaos Dragon. I am heavily favoring the Endymion deck in this one. Even more spell counters. Abyss Dragon's effect activates. Jackal negates by removing a spell counter, one of the 8 he has on him. Alt Dragon attempts to activate. Is negated by another Jackal King. Also super loaded on spell counters. Goes to battle phase, goes to swing. Turns all monsters to defense mode, drops stats to 0, does piercing damage. Not bad, but I still think Endymion's going to be able to pull something off. Sending monsters out for Supreme King Dragon, using 2 Dark Pendulum monsters. Making a new link for Access Code Talker. That's some real firepower. Finishing Selene gives himself 3,000 extra attack points. Pendulum summoning again, bring back Master Endymion. Activating Dark King's effect. Sending them all away for another Link summon. For Boral Sword. Activating Spell Power Mastery to add 1 Endymion card to his hand. Puts another spell counter on Master Cerberus. Swing with Boral Sword, halve the attack. Take the stat change. Swing with access code, swing with Cerberus. I had hoped for Blue Eyes when he switched all his stats to 0, but no, that was too much to get through. He had so many negates with all those spell counters. Alright, we have a Tri-Brigade versus Unknown. Playing Kit, sending it off. Link 1, Almirage. Activating Kit's effect. Kit's effect negated by Herald. He could be playing against a Drytron. Using Call by the Grave to negate Herald. Kit's effect resolves. Sends Nerval to the grave. Activate Nerval from the grave. Add Fractal. Set Cross out and pass. Yep, it's a Drytron. Activating Max C. Pretty smart. Oh, not exactly smart, but when else are you going to do it? Meteonis, Drytron added to hand. Move straight to battle phase. He might not get anything out of this Max C. And he doesn't. Draws another Call by the Grave. Summons Nerval. Banish Nerval. And the Kit in his grave to bring out Bearbrum. Linking them both off. For Rugal, Silver Shell. Activating another Nerval and Bearbrum, negated by Ash Blossom. Activating Crossout Designator to get rid of his own Ash Blossom to stop that Ash Blossom. Nerval's effect goes off. Add one to hand. Bearbrom's effect activates. Add one to hand. Send one back. Sends them off using Fractale's effect. The grave is loaded. Activates card. Brings out Alpha. Activates Drytron Ritual. Called by the grave to negate the effect in the grave. Or remove from the grave. Summons Ben 10. Activates Revolt. Brings back Kit, Nerval, Fractale, and the other one, Karis. Immediately links them all off into Ominous Omen. Going into Omen's effect. Going into Nerval's effect. Chaining into Kit. Send one to the grave from Kit. Nerval adds one to hand. Going into Omen's effect. Banish. Activate Alpha's effect in hand. Banish one from hand. Add to hand. Activate Ben 10's effect. Adds Herald to hand. Summon Herald. Pitch one from the extra deck. Destroy back row. I want to double check exactly what just happened with that. Return. Nope, that doesn't track. Summon fair monster from your deck extra to the graveyard. If you do, increase the card's level by the monsters until the end of the turn. Do. If this card's sent to the graveyard, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. So just using Herald to quick send that out for a destruction effect. That's what happened. Using the effect of Ritual on graveyard, reducing stats, add back to hand. Tuning them off for a Black Rose Dragon. Blowing them up instead of going in for the attack. Still favoring the Tri-Brigade deck in this matchup. Summon Kit, banish from the grave to bring out Farragut. Summon Fractale with the extra summon. Linking off again. Access. Yep. Code Talker. Code Talker's effect activates. Even 3k. Goes for the beatdown. If Duelsby could have at any point gotten off a Herald, I think they would have won. But Tri-Brigade was just relentless with all its summons. And there was no time. Two high-tier decks going up against each other. Good match. A Blackluster Soldier deck. That is rare. versus Battery Men? Or just Thunder? Yeah, Thunder. Alright, let's roll it back real quick, figure out what that man just did, because I'm unfamiliar with Thunder Dragons. Played Batterman Solar, sent Thunder Dragon, set Thunder Dark to the grave. Thunder Hawk activates to discard itself. To special summon the Dark that he just sent to the grave. When Dark was summoned... where's that? Discard card, add one Thunder Dark to your hand. Discard Spanish to the graveyard, add Thunder Dragon Dark to the hand. Alright. That didn't happen. Alright, so Thunder Dark was brought out, which triggered Solar's effect to summon the Batterman token, which was then sent off with Thunder Dragon Colossus. Using the token, and Dark sent out, brought out Light. Dark was sent to the graveyard again, so its effect activates to add Thunder Dragon Fusion. Reveals Dragon Matrix Cord for the stat boost. Use the fusion card, send the ones from the graveyard back into the deck. This is Colossus. Or, no, it's Titan. Pass turn. Goes for Super Soldier Synthesis. Uses Max C. Sending off Beginning Night. And other for Super Soldier. Super Soldier's effect sends it to the grave. Just not destruction effect, so that gets around Titan's protection. Destroys Light Charmer. Light Charmer's effect adds a light monster to hand. Soldier's effect activates. Deals damage equal to attack as damage. For the full 3k burst. Activates a lure. Adds to hand. Gets rid of Dragon Roar. Chains discarding Dragon Dark. Adds a Dragon Dark to hand. Roar's effect activates. Summons another Roar. Makes a Striker Dragon using the Black Dragon Collapse. White Dragon Wyvern Buster add to hand. Summon Wyvern Buster. Link Striker Dragon Wyvern Buster off into Heretic Seal. Uses Banishes Fusion from the grave, add a Thunder Dragon card to hand. Summons Duel by banishing. Sends them all off in a link. Appaloosa. Goes to battle. Uses Sphere. Appaloosa negates Sphere. So this attack's gonna go through. Super Soldier's effect attempts to activate. Appaloosa counters. Appaloosa swings in for 800. Not much. Envoy of Chaos. Banishes 2. Adds back to hand. Gateway to Chaos drawn. Summons Envoy. Goes to battle. Punches over Appaloosa. Sets field spell face down. Ends turn. I think Thunder Dragon has this. Swings in. Punches him down. Yeah. He might not have wanted to have banished Envoy of Chaos. Could have potentially summoned Chaos Emperor, but I don't know if Appaloosa could have negated its effect to summon itself. Probably could have, though, so it may have been the better move, if not a great move. But the best he had available. Right now his hand's just a bunch of bricks, though. And Thunder Dragon is going to take it. And it's over. Like I said earlier, I like seeing off-meta decks, but I think there's a point where off-meta becomes bad. Because BLS was punching up that entire time and it wasn't working. Alright, what do we got? I don't know what I'm looking at. Well, I don't know what that guy has because it's just set, pass. Play an unexpected die. Or just pass turn and he's taking the loss. Ah, Ghost Trick. Those are fun. Stein's effect activated, add Ghost Trick to hand. Punch with Yuki-Onna. Main phase 2. Set 1. Ghost Tricks flip themselves back down. Pass turn. Duelist A. Plays Blade Knight. Should have opened with unexpected die. Flip Yuki-Onna, flick Stein, flick Jiangxi. Didn't know Blade Knight's defense, so they just crashed and bounced off. Stein hits over. Everyone flips themselves face down again. Activate unexpected die. Or you're just taking the loss and giving up. Flips his Ghost Tricks. Jiangxi adds a Ghost Trick to hand. Summons another Yuki-Onna. Stein adds card to hand. Main phase 2 activates Mansion. So he does have normal monsters. Plays Blade Knight again without activating unexpected die. Uses Go Round to flip one up, flip one down. End the battle phase. Goes into his next turn. Probably flips up all the Ghost Tricks, just goes for game. That's a yes. I think Ghost Trick still would have won because I didn't see any sort of flow to Duelist A's deck. But I feel like he didn't also put up much of a fight. Didn't play unexpected die at any point. Just tried to keep throwing Blade Knights at him. Didn't play Baleful Bayonet. Who knows? I didn't check the ranks, so I don't know what level of play that was. Alright, we got Hand Traps, Tenny Spirit. Ooh, is this a Buster Blader deck? Special Summon Tenny, Special Normal Summon Whelp, add Buster Blader to hand. Link them into Protector Whelp. Whelp activates, send one to grave. Special summons out Buster Blader. Ooh, Lightning Storm, that's rough. Ooh, 7 Cities of the Golden. We got Eldritch versus Buster Blader. Specifically, looks like it could be a Zombie World Buster Blader deck. Makes Buster Blader Dragon Slayer Swordsman. Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. Activates Prosperity. Shiranui Sword Style. Gets rid of his monster to destroy 2 of the opponents. Pot of Prosperity resolves. Checks the top of his deck. Adds Destruction Sword Memories. Which he can't activate because he doesn't have a Destruction Sword in his hand to use its effect. So now everyone's just spinning their wheels. It's good back and forth. Mausoleum of White activates. Can't do anything with it because the only card in his hand is Ash Blossom, which he's saving as a negate, which is smart. Opponent sets 1, passes. Has not activated a trap monster yet. Probably hoping to get Eldritch out to get max value off of it. Activates Destruction Sword, pitches the Whelp, summons Buster Blader, attacks the Shiranui. Destruction Sword activates and equips. Pass turn. Summons Shiranui Solitaire. Uses Ash Blossom to negate. Right now it's favoring the Destruction Sword. Sets 1, moves to battle. Now he activates the Trap Monster, which gets run over, but he can banish it next turn to use its secondary. Does not use the secondaries. Draw Sage with Eyes of Blue, use its effect to get the extra normal summon. That lets him draw a Whelp, summons that. Lets him draw Destruction Sword Confusion. Activates. For another Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. Triggers the effect of Prologue of the Destruction. Brings out a Buster Dragon. All monsters your opponent controls become dragons. So now it's going to start getting that pierce damage. Dragon Buster's effect activates. Shiranui monsters have no defense. This is going to be really rough for him, actually. Yep, there it goes. Not that rough. Set Sage to defense mode. Destroys the Synchro. Still gets some damage off, but not as much as he had in last turn. Gets his third Ash Blossom. Activates Risen Eldland. Or Cursed Eldland. Pays the 800. Then Ash Blossoms it. So he gets nothing, just loses life points. And surprising no one more than me, I think Buster Blader... Eldritch has enough defense to survive, but Shiranui doesn't. Or we'll just link them all off. Make a Shiranui Skill Saga Supremacy. Fire monsters can't be destroyed by battle. Eldritch summons itself by its own effect. Activates Mizuki's effect to summon another Eldritch. Is Eldritch bringing the comeback? I think you just might. Come on, man. Misreading the opponent's 0 attack points as 0 defense points. Taking unnecessary damage. Linking everyone off. For Yuki Onna, absolute 0 Mayakashi. Negate any activated effects of your opponent's banished monsters. Monster special from the grave. Or monster effects activated in the grave. Target one other face-up monster on the field. Change attack to 0. Set Sanguine of Eldland. Opponent at 2,000. Nothing on board. Brings back Big Synchro. Banishing more stuff from the grave. Activating just absolute overkill at this point. He had him on board at the start of the turn. The super necessary Eldritch show-off finish. And you're still going. I think he may have taken all those Ash Blossoms a little personally. I'm amazed he stopped at that point. Fuck it. Link him off again. Make an Mirage. Make a Linkuriboh. Can't make Linkuriboh. Oral Sword. Appaloosa. Anyone. I was enjoying that match until Eldritch decided to just do his flex end. You had him on board. You're wasting everyone's time. What do we got here? Trains versus Unknown. Passes turn. Summons the Night Express. Chains Max C. Bullet Express summons itself, makes the link. Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon. Gustav Max. Use effect, do 2k. Turns that even further into Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut. Moves off its units for 6. And it's over. But that guy wishes he'd set something. Not exactly the most entertaining thing to end off on, but we're about getting that time. So let's see if we can get one more good match out of the night to watch. Not sure what he's playing right now. Altergeist. Plays Marionetter. Sets Altergeist Protocol. Activates 1/1, pitching Effect Veiler to bring out Musalik. Linking them in Hextia. Musalik lets him bring Multi-Faker to his hand. Set Skill Drain, fast turn. Activates Altergeist Protocol. Summons Multi-Faker and Silquitus. Using Altergeist Hexie's effect, Tribute to negate, I believe. That's a yes. Activates Photon Sanctuary. Counters with Max C. Because, why not? He's out of cards. That's turn 2. Gets to draw 2 from the tokens. Photon Vanisher comes out. Tributes off the tokens to summon the Galaxy Dragon. That's a 10-year-old play. Not a play a 10-year-old would make, but that play is like more than 10 years old. Summons another Photon. Really hoping to end this one on this turn, it looks like. Linking off the Photon and the Afterglow. Not linking, XZ summoning. Prime Photon. Going into battle. Prime Photon effect activates. Protocol activates in exchange. To negate the activation. Hexie in the Grave effect activates to counter Afterglow. Conquery, that might save him. Does get the other Photon Eyes out. Going to 8,000 on the Prime Galaxy. Conquery comes out. Which ends the battle. Linking off Prime Photon. For full armor Photon. Using Skill Drain to turn off the effect of the Galaxy Ices on board. The only problem is now he has to hit over them. He can't activate his Lightning Storm, but he does have a bunch of cards in hand to activate. Gets Conquery back to hand. Goes into battle phase. Summons Conquery. Ends that battle. Silquitus bounces Conquery back to hand. Surprising no one more than me, Altergeist is holding on really good. Activating Manifestation. Chaining Silquitus to bounce Manifestation. Manifestation still goes off. Summons Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker brings out Musalik. Summon Marionetter. Set another Manifestation. Sends off Musalik. Brings back Hextia. Musalik brings Pukuari to hand. Goes to end phase. Pitches Lightning Storm because he's never going to have time to activate it now. Photon player passes turn. Bounces 1 to bounce 1. linking off 4, or 3 to make ring 4, Memory Gant. X deactivates, Pukari activates in response. Pukari returns itself to hand. Hex deactivates, adds Protocol to hand. Activates Manifestation to bring back Hextia. Activates Multi-Faker in response to Special Summon, or Normal Summon. Hard to tell at this point. And just starts beating him to death. He combines Skill Drain with Altergeist Protocol to prevent the effects of his Altergeist from being negated. That was definitely a more interesting match. And the one we're going to end off on. I don't know if I can say that I learned a lot, but I do know that there are more cards out there now. But that is the end of this video. So, if you caught the stream, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me in watching. And if you're catching the replay, well, thanks. But that's the end. Goodbye, and take care.